What's up, everybody, and welcome to another trading analytics video. I'm Trade Runner, and the stock market had itself a day today with a lot of tickers presenting some nice bull setups heading into the end of the week. But there's a couple of other ones that are presenting some fairly bearish trajectories as well. Now, looking at the chip sector, AMD was one of the names that I see that has a very bull chart. We actually got a nice double bottom bounce here over through the neckline, and we closed the candle above the neckline heading into a key resistance point at 162. Now, I think the likely trajectory of AMD is a close above here is going to lead us to look to close this gap at 171. So we got about an $8 move on AMD, and that bodes well overall for the chip sector as a whole. Now, let's jump over to the XOXX ETF, the semiconductor ETF. And you can see here, we've been tracking this the last few days as well. If you guys remember some of our other videos that we had put up last week, we had got a nice bounce off of this up trend line through the down trend line and got several candle closes above. We survived the retest of the down trend line, and now we are looking to retest that 236 zone, which actually coincides with what we were discussing with AMD with that push towards 172, because that's going to help drag the semiconductor ETF even higher. Now, a name, when we can't talk about semis, we'll talk about the king, right? We have Nvda next on the docket. And this one also presented itself a nice bullish setup where we had a double bottom bounce through key levels of resistance. And most importantly, we got a key candle close above 123. So if you guys know, whenever I chart Nvidia, 123 is a very key level, as evidenced by the fact that I have it an orange line. So we got a bullish close over resistance, which should lead us to retest that 127 resistance area. And if we're able to break through 127, then 136 is back on the cards. And again, all this is kind of showing itself on the XOXX chart. And I think overall, the semis are going to have themselves a nice close to September, heading into the first official week of Q4 in October. Now, the last thing I want to take a look at, the last bull chart that I kind of noticed over my scouring when the market closed was QQQ. Now, this one's at a very key level with the 485 resistance point that we see here, where we close right at that level. If we were able to close a little bit above at 46, I would have been way more excited for the Qs right now. But because we close at that level, I think it's going to take another day or two to decide whether or not the Qs really want to fully break up. But the signs are there. We had a double bottom bounce off of an uptrend line, and we broke through the downtrend line resistance. This is a very important level here. So us breaking through the downtrend line resistance up to the key 46 zone, I think we can get that gap filled to 490s, to 493 to be exact. So with that 493 gap fill in reasonable range, I think that puts an all-time high retest in the cards for the Qs as well in the coming weeks. But I think 493 is not a certainty, but a pretty great likelihood, right? But like I just said a few minutes ago, not everything is sunshine and rainbows, right? So we have to go look at some of these bear charts as well. And the first one we're going to take a look at is actually the healthcare sector. So XLV, if you look at this ETF, you can see that we had a double top here at 156, broken down through this neckline at 153, and it's likely that we're going to go retest this area at 147. So overall, healthcare names, Lilly, Johnson Johnson, all those type of fun names, I do think we're going to see a pullback across the board just because this chart is screaming bear to me. Now, another thing, and you guys know me, I'm big on the finance stocks. XLF is also flashing bearish. We had an all-time high rejection here at 45.82, and now we're looking at we're going to retest this downtrend line here at $44 per share. So keep that in mind. And last thing we're going to take a glance at before we get ready to wrap this up is the Dow Jones. So DIA, you see here that we had a nice close around 419, and we rejected from all-time highs yet again at 423 to retest this 418 zone as well. Now, if DIA loses 418, then we got a long way to go to retest this downtrend line at 410, and that's going to be quite the ride for the bears, right? So before we close this out, I do want to take a look at the seasonality chart here on the overall market. You can kind of see here on the screen that the end of September has historically been a very bearish time of the year, with average returns going from -1% to negative 0.1% to negative 0.3% on average over the course of the last few years. So I do think that we're going to see a pretty decent sized pullback overall in the market at some point before we get our Santa Claus ride to close Q3 and ramp up in Q4 near the midpoint of October. But until that happens, we'll just play what the charts are telling us. So in any case, I've been Trade Runner. This is Trading Analytics. Link to our Discord is in the description of this video as well as in our channel bio. So feel free to take a look over that. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.